Before we start our podcast today, I want to recognize one of the businesses helping us imagine more. Well-being, well-doing, well-maker. That's not just her motto, it's her mission. Life coach Lucy Wellmaker is on a mission to inspire, uplift, and encourage you one wow moment at a time. Subscribe to her wow moments at lucywellmaker.com and get a free Wheel of Life, a powerful tool to help you create a more centered life. And now back to our podcast.
Imagine more stories that soar, business, life, and so much more. Laughs, lessons, and local delight. It's the podcast that feels just right. It's the Imagine More podcast.
Welcome to the Imagine More podcast, where stories live, connections matter, and the people of Moore County take center stage. I'm your host, Rose Young, and today I'm so glad you're here. Today's guest is someone many of you already know, not because of a single title, but because of how he shows up in a room and how he treats people once he's there. Jonathan Lewis is a seasoned chamber professional with more than 17 years of experience supporting business and nonprofit organizations across our region. After spending nearly 2 decades working in home care, the pandemic became a moment of reflection and redirection, one that led him into the chamber industry. Jonathan served roles with both Richmond County and Moore County Chambers of Commerce, and today he is the Director of Membership Development for the Moore County Chamber of Commerce. In that role, he focuses on what matters most: building relationships, supporting local businesses, and strengthening community connection. But that's not the whole story. Jonathan also teaches bartending at Richmond Community College, and if you've had any of his special cocktails, you'll know how delicious they are. And he is the owner of the Gentleman Mobile Bar, a luxury mobile bar service known for elegant, stress-free, unforgettable experiences for weddings, graduations, birthdays, and milestone celebrations. He's a proud member of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina, and he generously volunteers his time with nonprofits such as the Weymouth Center for the Arts and Humanities, where he is a familiar and welcoming presence at its events. Jonathan, welcome to the Imagine More podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here today.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
I'd like to start at the beginning, not the resume version, but the real one. When someone asks you, what do you do? What do you hope they understand about you beyond your job title?
So I help people feel seen. You know,
Yes.
that's very important in a person's life is
It is.
just being seen, feeling like they're supported, and connected,
Yeah.
with their surroundings, whether it's their business, community, hospitality, I mean, this community here, we all desire similar things.
Yeah.
Whether it's business, whether it's personal,
Huh?
we desire to be seen.
That's it.
And feel appreciated,
Right.
That's the way I feel, is I love to be appreciated, not for,
Of course.
I come from a community that, will just struggle with, how to demonstrate love.
Right.
Even in my family, I mean, my mom came from, 15 siblings.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
15.
Yes.
My dad had 11. in
Oh,
his
see,
family.
so
Mhm.
so it was just things like that, and I just made it my place to just start showing love, we
Yeah.
have to show love,
I see that about you from the very
yeah.
first time I met you.
Yes, yes. No, I will say, I talk junk, like I talk so much crap, but I know that, that's just me, that's
Yeah.
just who I am,
Yeah.
you have to cut up, you have to smile, you have to laugh in the world to just help you overcome things,
Yeah.
So,
You're authentic.
yeah, very, very real.
And that's what we all
Yes.
strive to be is
Yeah.
authentic.
Right, right.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's right.
So growing up, what did service or community look like in your world?
And community was, wow, family. Community was also, your church. I grew up in a very strict church. It was a strict denomination, but that was my family. That was my
Right.
community,
Okay.
Sunday night, Wednesday,
Oh, really?
choir practice,
Oh, choir
right, right.
practice.
Everything was our lives like revolved around our faith.
Uh-huh.
So, that was the community. But we
Yeah.
also, you know, cooked. We showed love, so we just
Yeah.
showed the love. That's
Okay.
community.
So looking back, do you see early signs that hospitality and relationship building were always part of who you are?
Some,
Some?
yeah,
Yeah.
some.
Who do you think were the people or moments that shaped how you treat others today?
Um, my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah, I love my
Mhm.
mama.
Yeah.
She's genuine.
Yes.
She did while she was in business herself.
Was
She's
she?
she's
What did she
so
do?
home interior,
Oh, no
Yeah, but
kidding.
she loved to, arrange, she loved the decor part.
Uh-huh.
She loved serving.
Oh, yeah. Did you
Yeah.
get any of that from her, the
Um
design and the
I
decor
did, I
arrangement? Did
did, I
you?
did, and she would host, people would come to our homes and have dinner,
Uh-huh.
and she would host, and then she would have, like, these home interior parties. Yeah, so
Whoa.
I remember once she won a silver punch bowl.
Uh-huh.
So now when I do events, I use that punch
Do
bowl.
you
Yeah,
really? Oh,
so
that's very
yeah,
cool.
but she used it for years. Everyone would ask her, "Can I borrow your punch bowl?" If they were having a baby shower or like a bridal event shower.
Yeah. And
She
now nobody wants punch bowls.
Oh, I'll take them. Yes, I'll take them. Yeah.
So you spent nearly 20 years working in home care. Oh, that is really deeply personal work.
Right.
What did that chapter of your life teach you about people and trust?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard a lot, on the trust side, we were sending caregivers into a home that
Right.
a patient had no clue who this person
No.
was. She didn't, patients are already protective of what they have because over the years they've carried the sentimental things with them.
Right.
You
And they
know,
want to hang on to their independence.
correct,
Uh-huh.
correct. But then, you know, looking at, the younger, you know, sitters or home caregivers,
Uh-huh.
then looking at the older people
Right.
and just looking, they're two different generations. This one's
Yeah.
not going to do the way that you
That's
always did
exactly
it.
right.
So and then their behaviors is changing.
Yeah.
Our older generation is becoming demented or
Yeah.
being diagnosed with Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
and that younger generation, sometimes they don't really know how to handle it.
No.
So, doing the additional training with them,
Yeah.
I love that part,
That's
just
the part
knowing
you
that
like, the training and
yes,
mhm.
you did it,
Yeah.
we had that within our home. I
Yes.
had an uncle that was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Ah, that's the
And
most wicked disease.
but you know what I learned a technique for him.
Did you?
His wife she had went back and did culinary arts with
Uh-huh.
our local community college.
Oh.
So she was like I'm not gonna say our big mama, but
Uh-huh.
everybody would go to her house because she could cook really well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, she always had a lot of people there. And then when my uncle was diagnosed, it was his behavior. He would like kind of act out,
Yeah.
So we turned to music. I had an old iPod that had tons of Southern gospel music.
Oh, and that was his thing.
And we just put it on his ears, leveled him right out. And my
No.
aunt could go back to what she loved doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
that
cool.
was, but just to have that, that teaching of
Yeah.
how to cope with things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And little things that you figure out that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, how did the pandemic shift your perspective on work and purpose?
I knew that what the pandemic did for me, it allowed me to realize that life is short.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate, the time that we have here on earth.
Right.
There was lots of people that, passed away, lost their lives because of this.
Right.
I would have never pictured it.
No.
But it helped me, it also helped me build the strength within, like working with that home care agency.
Yeah.
That, we've got to take care of each other.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that was rough.
I remember several of my older friends that were home alone and nobody could go visit them. And it was such a lonely time for them.
Right. And then, we were private duty nursing, or most of the percentage of our clients was private pay.
Okay.
And, it got to the point where the families were like New York, Virginia, hours away from them.
Oh, yeah.
And they stopped their services. And all I could think is, they're going to get out to go get food. They're going to try to get out, especially like the demented ones. We were
Walk
so
out
scared.
the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we continued checking on them during that time, and it was just life is short. It was short during that time. Life is still short.
Yeah.
We have to take day by day.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Day by day. When you transitioned into the chamber world, did it feel like a big leap or more like a continuation of the same values in a new setting?
When I transitioned to the chamber world, I fell in love. I fell in love. Like I say now, I have two jobs. I had two fun jobs. I've waited, 40 years to get two fun jobs.
Yeah.
I do love the Chamber of Commerce, the organization in whole.
Right.
Just being able to help a business and just throwing out ideas, try it. If it don't work.
Oh, you're good at that. I mean, you just doom. Ideas just come to you.
Right. And ideas are so seasonal.
Yeah.
It may not work now, but it could work, a year from now.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't throw in, don't throw it, just throw the towel
in.
Right.
So every time we talk about the chamber, I think of my mother because she loved the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, I don't care whatever question I had about anything. We'll go ask the chamber.
Right.
We'll call up the chamber.
Right. And that's what we're here for. Yes, that's what we're here for. I would love to say, we're not problem solvers, but we
are problem solvers.
We know the connections. We know how to connect you with the people that can solve those problems. So I do. I love Chamber of Commerce. It's a great organization. Not because I worked there, but I volunteered with the Chamber of Commerce, with a Chamber of Commerce, and then eventually sat on that board. I was 2017 Chamber of the Volunteer of the Year with them.
Yes. Nice.
Yes. So, that was a great experience there too.
So your title is Director of Membership Development.
Correct.
But the work itself is very human. What does that role actually look like day to day?
So that role is making sure that our business members have what they need.
Okay.
The chamber holds tons of resources. We are totally different than economic development. We are totally different than the Visitors Bureau, CBB.
Right.
We're totally different than the college.
Okay.
We hold tons of resources.
Okay.
We connect businesses with those partnerships that we have, such as economic development, Sandhills Community College. We build those relationships with them. So when businesses do come to us, we can refer them to, those partnerships.
Right.
But, just holding those resources, chamber is very valuable in this community and all communities.
Yeah.
Just like you said, your mom.
Oh, she
you
loved the chamber.
Right. And she would say, call the chamber.
Call the chamber. Yeah.
And one thing that I really push is our member directory,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, deep down inside, I do support businesses, members and non-members.
Okay.
I know that I'm a small business.
Yes, that's right.
And
so you're going through the same thing your people are going through.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And just having that, not knowing much about an organization and then you're investing in that organization.
Right.
That was a challenge for me.
Uh-huh.
But I jumped in and I said, I'm going to give it a try, and I gave it a shot. My business started to grow. I started to see success,
Right.
Because the chamber, it connected me with the right people.
There you go. All about the connection.
Right. And it wasn't even like big winners, it wasn't like our chamber champions, it wasn't like those big investors.
Uh-huh.
It was the small connections, the
Really?
small businesses that I love being connected with.
Oh.
Yeah.
If this episode is inspiring you, I invite you to share it, subscribe, and leave a review. Your support helps amplify local voices and strengthen our business community. And of course, none of this happens alone. I'm grateful for the sponsors who invest in this platform and in Moore County. Let's take a moment to recognize them. Here's one of the businesses helping us imagine more. Leadership isn't just for executives, it's for anyone who influences others. Leadership Coaching Associates partners with organizations to develop leaders at every level through coaching, consulting, customized training, and facilitation. With 30-plus years of experience across education, healthcare, government, finance, and industry, their approach is practical, personal, and proven. If you're ready to invest in leadership that lasts, reach out today. Call or email Leadership Coaching Associates. Check the podcast description for contact information. So how do you approach building relationships with business owners in a way that feels genuine and supportive?
I support local.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way I start building that relationship, is supporting their business.
Yeah.
Giving them,
Go into their business.
Yeah.
Checking it out, buying from them.
Right. And there's great businesses here.
There are.
Small, large. There's great people here in Moore County.
It is. I always say that this place, it's like a big hug around small businesses.
Yeah, right.
We really support the small business more than anywhere I've ever lived.
Right. And, we're starting to see some of the baby boomer businesses, they're looking to sell. They're ready to retire.
I'm a baby boomer,
Right. Right. But you're going to always work, Rose, in some way, shape, or form.
You're right. You're right, Jonathan. What do you think small businesses most need from a chamber right now?
Exposure. Yeah. Exposure is very important to my small business. Having that visibility, it matters so much. Small businesses also need advocacy. Someone to go to our legislation, our legislators, the people that make the laws to support small businesses. I really value that. Being a business owner is someone to go and place for me.
Talk to me about that.
So we have, one of the things that the chamber does is we fight for small businesses. We're part of an association, the Carolinas Association for Chamber of Commerce Executives.
Right.
And we have people within that organization. We have attorneys that fight for Chamber of Commerces across the state.
Okay.
One of the things that we do every Friday is we have Federation Call, where all the chambers get together, and then we speak to these lobbyists for us. We just tell what's going on in our community.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's the strong thing, because we want to make sure that our people is continuing getting these small business grants.
From your perspective, what makes Moore County's business community special?
People really want to support each other here.
They do.
They do.
We really do.
Right, right. And
Mhm.
you know, and everybody's looking for alternatives, you know. I see several business associations within this community, and I'm grateful for them, you know, because
Right.
any kind of support that any business can get,
Mhm.
you know, whether it's our small town business associations, whether it's these military associations, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, that don't bother me. I need to make sure that we're supporting each other. You know,
Right.
that is my goal. There's pride in just local business and a strong sense of community that you don't find everywhere here.
No.
You know, it's totally different, you know, and, sometimes with the Moore County Chamber of Commerce, we hit the whole entire county.
Yeah.
Robbins is way out there
It is way out there.
for where things are, within
Yeah.
this county. But those businesses out there, they need support too,
Absolutely. Do
they
you see
have.
them growing out that way?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
I don't doubt any community. I don't care if it takes them 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that they're going to grow.
Yeah.
Bass, Cameron, those are the cutest communities,
Right.
Aberdeen, they're all cute communities.
Yeah.
But, it's just like, let's show it. Y'all go see them, like go
Yeah.
see them, go visit their
Check
shops,
it
go look at
out.
go eat at their restaurants, go
Yeah.
to an event, and feel the love of these communities,
Right.
we do see, we can typically, just being Americans, we hear the negativity in these communities,
Uh-huh.
but that doesn't make the community,
That's not the community.
right, right.
Mhm.
So there's just so much love in it because they have built relationships among each other.
Yeah.
So that's a great, there's just so much pride in that.
Right. And so talk to me about joining the chamber as a small business owner and then what I can expect from that membership.
So joining the chamber, the Moore County Chamber of Commerce, it's a great organization. I will say that. Our investment tiers, they can start, anywhere from 400, they can go up into
Oh, okay. There's different
50,000.
levels of membership.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I didn't
So we have
realize
a
that.
tiered
Mhm.
membership.
Okay.
Some of the great benefits that you get with being a member of the chamber is based on which investment you make.
Right.
It can be, with a chamber champion, you can get, tickets to our professional development series.
Uh-huh.
You can also get admission into our Moore County Leadership Institute.
Right.
There's just so many benefits there. The
Okay.
visibility is stronger on those chamber champion levels.
Uh-huh.
You go on our publications that we
Right.
produce annually. So we push those chamber champions. That's that visibility. But
Right.
with a small business, the networking, we create several networking events throughout the year.
Yeah.
They can also attend the professional development series.
Okay.
So there's just so many benefits that they can get. But being a small business, the connections that you make participating in this networking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't. I encourage the events that we create, but I want to. I do know that businesses and business leaders, business owners cannot come to these events. But I will say, because of their hours of operation.
They're 24/7.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I will encourage any small business, to if they have like a marketing team or anything like that,
Uh-huh.
throw them in uniform or throw a badge on them, a
Right.
T-shirt, give them a stack of cards, and say, here's what this business is
Huh.
about. That's it. That's the connection there. I
Okay.
encourage everyone to get business cards. But or
I need new business
yeah,
cards.
or some kind of device. You can
Right.
now you can do it on your phone.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It goes directly into your contacts.
That's a little too
Yeah.
technical for
No, I don't
me.
think so.
I did tell you I was a baby
Yeah.
boomer, right?
No. No.
So let's talk a little bit about the Gentleman Mobile Bar. How did this idea come to life?
Wow. So when I was younger, I went to work with a franchise restaurant.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed the hospitality, and at that time I asked, the sole proprietor, to try me behind the bar. Try me behind the bar.
Oh.
And I was getting excited, and,
Uh-huh.
and it was at a brand new
How old were you?
franchise. I was 21.
21,
Yeah.
so just
Yes.
old enough.
Right. I was 21, and I asked him to try me behind the bar, and it was like I said, it was a brand new franchise right on 95 in Arlington. And I'm like, oh my God. So he threw me back there, and of course a franchise restaurant would, have their signature cocktails.
Yeah.
So that's what we were called. I mean, that's what we were taught, we would batch one of their specialty cocktails and freeze it.
Yeah.
To run it through a machine, and then but that's what we pushed. That's what we pushed was their signature cocktails. And, you'd get your random beer and wine drinkers. So we knew, I built relationships there.
Yeah.
And I just kind of fell in love with it. But I was ready to, at that time in my life, I'm starting to grow up. That was a kid job, but I loved it. I fell in love with the hospitality part, being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
Then getting repeat customers. The money was great too, because we were brand new, right beside 95.
Those tips were very, very nice.
Right.
I worked in a restaurant. I waited tables, or I was in the bar actually, but I made more money doing that. It took me 3 years of teaching to start equaling my salary.
Right. Yeah. And you think, I'm, I don't know, that was 20 years ago?
Yeah.
And it was good money back then.
Yeah, it was. So those dollar bills in your pocket are nice.
Right. And you would try to exchange out the big bills. Like, I want big bills. Big bills. Stand out here. You can have dollars. You need some dollars.
Yeah, I think we should all work in a service job like that.
Right.
Just so you realize how hard it is.
Right.
It's not an easy job.
No. And it teaches discipline,
it
too.
It really does.
Because, there is a lot of times that I could have, I'm a cusser, Rose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times that I could have been
I've never heard you cuss one time.
But I was like, but yes, it teaches us discipline, and how to respect each other.
Patience. When someone's, yapping and saying ugly things and you want to just punch them right in the face.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes. And it teaches you detail.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, because you think when you would lay out the silverware, if you notice that there's something on that fork, you're grabbing that fork and say, let me get you another one.
Exactly.
So it teaches you detail too. Yeah. Right.
So why is it important to you that this be more than just bartending?
Because people need that to be seen, we're serving you, we're serving you. You're paying for this service, and even in the wedding industry, it doesn't matter if you didn't pay for this bar and you're just drinking, your loved one or your friend, they did. They wanted you to have that experience,
right.
So just having that experience and being able to serve the other person,
So it's more about the experience than it is the bartender.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you keep coming back to that. People want to be seen. People want to be heard.
Right.
And I can't tell you, I have interviewed several life coaches and business coaches. How many times I hear that?
Right.
Yeah. So when someone hears stress-free and elevated, what does that really mean behind the scenes?
Oh, we're taking it up a notch.
Yeah.
We're taking it up a notch. We're going to be outside the box tonight, and it's just, I want my customers, I want my people to feel stress-free.
Yeah.
Especially my brides, my bride, this is their day, I don't
their
want
special day.
I don't want anyone coming to me and say, we're running low in liquor,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like, no, this is we're partying. We're going to party tonight. I don't want that,
Nah.
So, one of the things that I do add is a custom shopping list,
Uh-huh.
I do abide by the ABC laws in the state of North Carolina. My customer purchases their alcohol.
Okay.
So, just making sure that they have the right amount that's going to serve their guests and everyone's going to have a good time.
There you go.
One of the strengths of my business is the crafted cocktails.
The crafted. Oh, I've had some delicious crafted cocktails that you have
They
concocted.
are. And I'm learning more.
Are you?
Yes, I am learning
Oh,
more.
my goodness.
Yeah, I have several in the black book.
Oh, is it like flavors mixing flavors? I mean, that's a design thing, like your mama.
It is,
Mhm.
and it's art,
Yeah,
it is
absolutely art.
But currently I'm working on a crafted cocktail for a local or North Carolina distillery.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be super fun,
Ooh, yeah.
to present that to them. Just trying to get the flavors,
Yeah.
So, just stay tuned, I
Stay
have
tuned.
some excitement
Things
coming
are coming.
to the Gentleman Mobile Bar, so follow, here's my time, like, follow, and share,
There you
the Gentleman Mobile
absolutely.
Bar.
So you're on Facebook as the Gentleman Mobile Bar.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Okay.
And then I'm on Instagram as Gentleman Mobile Bar.
Okay.
Yeah, but they can look me up at the Gentleman Mobile Bar.
Yeah, and listeners, you can always help any small business by
absolutely.
following, and sharing.
Correct. That's
Mhm.
free.
Right. And what about making a comment? Does that make a big difference when you have a post on social media and you comment on it, or is it just the liking is just enough?
Yeah, comments are great too,
Uh-huh.
I do believe in reviews as well.
Yeah, the reviews.
You can always comment. It's free as well,
Uh-huh.
this team is awesome, things like
Yeah.
that, wording like that.
Right.
Because people read comments.
They do.
They
I do. I read
do.
the comments.
I do, especially if it's hot juice, I will read the comments quickly. They're super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you read a room? Because, all of the different events that you do and adjust your approach depending on the event or the people.
The energy, that's just the energy,
Yeah.
You know how to work a room,
Uh-huh.
with, I can usually tell, like, with the gentleman, the business, I can tell when I do my tastings with the bride and groom.
Uh-huh.
I
Oh,
Yeah,
you get the feel then.
right, and I kind of feel like, okay, this is the crowd that they're gonna hang out,
Uh-huh.
or this is the crowd they're gonna have at their event.
Right.
But there's sometimes that I go to the event, it's totally different.
Really?
It's like
So you have to change?
right.
Uh-huh.
It's like all of the the older people that watched them grow up.
Oh, yeah.
Like a wedding,
Yeah.
and even my corporate events, I can kind of tell, I do a little research and just kind of understand their, that organization, that business's role in the community.
Uh-huh.
I always look at mission and visions. What is their mission?
Right.
I want to make sure that I know how to, or my team knows how to communicate with these people, like these attendees.
Yeah.
Because it was a challenge for me. When I started working more, like I would get a lot of bookings from like military couples,
Uh-huh.
and just having to learn that their lingo,
Right, which is completely different.
right, and I'm not
No.
separating them from anything,
Right.
but they have just served our country. They've learned. They've had to develop new strengths.
Yes,
United States has a powerful military.
we do.
And I applaud our servicemen, our women, for doing that. I don't think I could have done it, like
No.
looking back now.
Right.
But with the development of our military, I know that I could have done it.
Yeah.
Because they develop, they
Yes.
develop our citizens.
Yeah, that's who I taught for was
Right.
military families,
Right.
right? And I'm telling you, I had to learn. My first job was in Okinawa, Japan. So not only did I have to learn the Okinawa, Japan, but I had to learn the military lingo because it's completely different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and I absolutely loved
Yeah.
being with the military.
Right.
It's a different breed of people that are very service oriented,
Right.
but to the limit of or unlimit of giving my life
Right.
for service.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And I grew up in St. Paul's, North Carolina, and we were neighboring to Cumberland County,
Uh-huh.
which housed a lot of our military families.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew, the military community, but
Uh-huh.
now being in the community is totally different. I'm able to have conversation, build relationship
Right.
with these, service people and, just, just listening to their experience.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, God,
Listening.
some of them I could, I just want to hug them.
Yeah.
I did do my first year with the chamber. I did go through the Deadman
Okay.
leadership.
Yeah, I hear so much wonderful things about that.
Yeah, that was a great program.
Mhm.
Our instructors, our presenters were awesome.
Yeah.
So that's through the Sand Hills Community College Small Business Center.
Right.
I love that program.
I do too.
It was just, some of the stories. I mean, it was taught by, a veteran.
Uh-huh.
Just a great, great presenter.
Yeah.
And, just to hear some of his stories and you're like, wow.
Wow. Mhm.
Like, wow, I believe in the good of people,
Yes.
and there are good people in our world,
There are.
but there is some people that their motives are totally different.
Right. Maybe
than good.
the good is just so deep down in
Mhm.
that you got to go in and find it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it could have came from, experiences,
Right. Yeah.
but I just to see our citizens, going over there and doing that for us.
Yeah.
I'm like,
amazing.
that's amazing.
It is.
Mhm.
So is there a moment from an event that perfectly captures why you love this work?
Yeah. I think it's when I see that my customer or whoever has booked me happy. They don't have to worry about it. Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, Jonathan and his team,
He's got it. Yeah.
I think that's what I enjoy, just seeing them
Yeah.
relax, enjoying their event, because they trust us.
They trust.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you also teach bartending at Richmond Community College. Where is Richmond Community College?
It's in Hamlet.
In Hamlet.
North
Okay.
Carolina.
What do you enjoy most about teaching? You seem like a teacher to me. You would have been a great teacher.
Yeah, but I'm more of an encourager.
Oh,
I'll say I'm an encourager.
Okay.
So, just watching the students build confidence.
Uh-huh.
It's not easy. You're on a stage when you get behind a bar. You're on a stage.
It's a performance.
Right. Your setups, your color of your your color of your drink, your glass that you serve it in.
Right.
Your garnish. You are presenting.
Yes.
So, just seeing them coming in, nervous, shy,
Uh-huh.
and just seeing how powerful they become within those 8 weeks.
Really? 8 weeks,
Yes,
huh? That's
yes.
how long it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an 8-week program. During that program, I paired them up. They have no clue who they're getting paired with.
Really?
I go old school and I make them count off. And
That's perfect.
right. So they have those 8 weeks to craft a cocktail.
Okay.
They do everything outside, making their syrups, there's 4 components, the glass, the mixer, the alcohol, and the garnish. That's all they have
That's the 4 components.
Yeah. So they have those 8 weeks to craft with someone they don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, that's fun, but just seeing how they come out their shell. And then at the last 2 classes, I base it on presentation
Uh-huh.
and taste.
Oh, so you get to taste everybody's drinks.
Yes, so you get to taste
Nice.
it. And granted, it's less than a quarter ounce. I mean, it's just a little bit,
I was going to say, well, that's the class I want to come to.
Right.
Can I be like a judge?
Right. And I tell them, I was like, I just want you to put enough in the cup just so that they can taste.
Yeah.
Just to get it on their,
Okay.
not just drink it. But anyway, just seeing them very nervous.
Yeah.
And then their confidence being built
Uh-huh.
towards the end,
Yeah.
I bring in an ALE agent, retired ALE agent to teach RASP, Responsible Alcohol Service Program, the training
okay.
and the questions. I mean, they're so confident that they feel free to, okay, I'm going to ask this. I'm going to ask this because I feel like I need to know.
Yeah.
You know how I mean, it's hard
Oh,
getting
yeah,
someone to
getting people
ask questions.
That's absolutely true.
Right.
So beyond mixing the drinks, beyond their craft cocktail, what do you hope your students walk away with?
Customer service.
Customer service.
Yeah, professionalism, communication, knowing how to communicate with people, just how to carry on a conversation. Like I said, it builds relationships. You're not going to like everybody that you talk to. You're
not.
That's okay. You're going to know how to communicate with them.
Yeah.
We're going to know how to talk.
That's a skill that everyone needs to know, Jonathan.
Right.
I know, especially some of the kids growing up that were in high school, that maybe they were senior in high school in 2020, or so they didn't go to school. It was all online.
Right.
That connection piece was missing.
Right. And, that's what makes, that's what makes life so much easier, just having that connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that if I was going to, if I wanted to get into a venue, or if I wanted to provide services for someone, I'm going to go to my hard hitters, the ones that support me.
Right.
I mean, I'm speaking from the business here. I'm going to want to go to those hard hitters that I provided excellent service to, the ones that I have, impacted.
Yeah.
Whether it's through the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's just knowing them, seeing them in the grocery store.
Right.
I want to make sure that I make that impact with these people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that, communication is the key.
Communication is the key.
It is the key.
How does teaching and mentoring fit into your larger sense of service and community involvement?
If I can help someone build skills and open doors, that's service.
That's the service.
That's the service.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you shared that you're a proud member of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. And I want to pause here for listeners who may not be familiar. For those hearing the term Lumbee for the first time, what does that mean? What is the Lumbee tribe? What does that mean? What should we know about it?
So the Lumbee tribe is the 575th federally recognized tribe in the United States of America.
Is it really?
Yes. I'm sorry. I have to clap, Rose. I mean, just growing up, and hearing, I got chills, saying that. But just growing up and just knowing that, my elders would always say, that you better go get your Indian card. You better go get your Indian card.
Yeah.
And back then, they were, I come from Robeson County, one of the poorest counties in the state of North Carolina.
Right.
One of the largest counties, and if not the largest county in
Really?
the state of North Carolina. We had a large population of Native Americans.
Okay.
Indians. It was.
Is it okay to say Indians?
Yeah. I mean, Indians are fine. That's what I grew up knowing. Now that I've got older, I identify as a native.
Native, yeah.
But I also have developed relationships with other, native tribes, federally recognized tribes in the state of North Carolina, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. They are great people.
Yeah.
I have never built relationships with like the chief or the council or anything like that, but the people.
Yeah.
I've built relationships with them as well. I mean, I've received eagle feathers from them.
Have you? What does that mean when you get an eagle feather?
Eagle feather is, wow, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's an honor to receive an eagle feather. Eagles really, I feel like the eagles really protect our land,
right.
by, animals that harm others,
Yeah.
I do believe in that, not really like witchcraft, voodoo, or anything like that,
No,
but
right.
I do believe in things like that. An eagle feather is very powerful.
Right.
Our people use that in ceremonies, sacred ceremonies, to bless others.
Yeah.
One of the things that has become so popular is the burning of sage to get spirits, to get things out, unwanted
Oh, yeah.
things out.
Absolutely.
Right.
To
And
cleanse.
to cleanse,
Uh-huh.
correct. And,
Yeah, even
it's
negativity. I mean,
right, right.
maybe you're just cleansing the negativity.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. And it's
I
refreshing.
I know exactly what you're talking
Right.
about.
But just knowing that, we used, feathers like that to rid those things
Yeah.
that we didn't really need.
Right.
I mean, we developed them, but
Yeah.
get rid of some of the behaviors that we do pick up or that comes near us.
Yeah.
So it's very honorable to be part of that tribe, the Lumbee tribe of
Yeah.
North Carolina. Just knowing that growing up, you were always told, you're going to be recognized, and just to see this,
Uh-huh.
and then even our tribal chair, a young professional.
Oh,
Like
nice.
he's
Yeah.
a young professional. That holds strong roots right there too. It's just
Uh-huh.
having, not saying there would be anything wrong with having an older chair.
Yes.
But he understands us.
Yeah.
He
I love
understands
that. I think
us.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Are there traditions or teachings that guide how you show up in your work and in your life? Specifically related to the Lumbee tribe.
Yes. So with my business, the bar, I have taken what I was taught at a young age.
Uh-huh.
So my family canned. They would always put up like preserves, things like that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
remember growing up, and we would do. My grandparents would grow tomatoes, watermelons, things
Uh-huh.
like that.
Okay.
So my family would go out there and get tomatoes, and they would can them, for the
Uh-huh.
winter, or they would do like a summer soup when fresh produce was coming off,
Right.
corn,
Uh-huh.
okra. My grandparents would grow fields of it,
Really?
and all of the kids would go and get what they wanted.
No kidding. That's cool.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
would also process hogs.
Okay.
Every
So it's a
every
real
fall.
farming life then.
Oh yeah.
Living off the land.
My grandpa was a
Mhm.
sharecropper.
Okay.
But then we would also support local by going and buying strawberries and buying blueberries.
Uh-huh.
We would do that. So now I've incorporated those things into my bar.
Yeah.
Every when strawberries are coming off, I go get strawberries.
Uh-huh.
Mama will give me a bucket of pears.
Yeah.
So and I use those to make syrups.
Uh-huh.
One of my specialty cocktails is a pearnella.
Ugh,
Right, and it was
sounds fabulous already.
yes, and it started out as a bucket of pears, and I had no clue to do with all these pears. My mom had gave me a 5-gallon bucket, so I started making like a syrup. I was like, okay, I'll cook them down, make a puree,
Uh-huh.
But then I was like, oh, let me try a syrup. So I
Uh-huh.
made a syrup. I added like a Madagascar vanilla,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that turned into one of my specialty cocktails. I can't get away from it at weddings.
Oh, yeah.
But it is a good drink. But I take those traditional. I don't know what you would even call them. These things that were taught to me.
Right. You
And
grew up
I
with.
apply. I
Yeah.
apply, and then on the business side, with the chamber side, my morals.
Yes.
My parents had great work ethics.
Uh-huh.
They worked. Both my mom and
They
dad
worked.
worked. And then my other my cousins, their parents, they stayed working on the farm with my
Right.
grandparents. So there was a difference there.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we were looked at a little different. Like like they would look at us like you act like you're better than us.
Yeah.
No, my parents
No.
have worked.
They
Then
worked to get where they were.
yeah, and then I grew up
Mhm.
with both parents in my home.
Yeah.
So the morals that I was taught,
Yeah.
they were good morals. Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
Oh, thank you, Daddy. Right.
So, what does the representation and visibility of the Lumbee tribe mean to you here in Moore County?
Just know that we're here, knowing that we're here.
Knowing that you're
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I've did a little research in Moore County, to
Uh-huh.
find the native community.
Right.
But this could have been a community, a passing through community.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
But there is native people here. I have met native people here that live here. One of them is a pastor here.
Uh-huh.
So that speaks volume knowing, well, there's a business right here on Southeast Broad,
Uh-huh.
they're in Lumbee business on.
Oh, okay.
So, we did a post on the Moore County Chamber page just congratulating the Lumbee tribe.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden I see all these comments and they're like, I own a business in Moore County. And
Oh,
they have like Lumbee last names. And I'm like,
nice.
oh, let me see who they are. So I have been able to build a
That's
connection
cool,
or
yeah.
connect with them.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, just knowing that we are here.
That you're there.
We may not have been here years and years ago,
Uh-huh.
but we're here
You're
now.
now, yeah.
Right, right.
At 575th, is that right?
Federally recognized
Federally
tribe in the
recognized tribe.
United States. Correct. Correct.
So let's talk about your volunteering because that's how I met you. You
Right.
volunteer your time with organizations like the Weymouth Center.
Right.
Why is giving back important to you?
It takes the community.
Yeah.
Takes the community. If I'm going to be part of this community, I'm going to be part of this community.
Yeah. We're lucky to have you, Jonathan.
I'm lucky to be here, but I mean, it's just giving back, there's a lot of nonprofits in Moore County.
There is a lot.
Right, that desire support.
Uh-huh.
I don't single any of them out because their missions, their visions, they are great. They know what they want to do.
Yeah.
But it takes the community to buy into those nonprofits, those organizations like that.
Right.
Most of those organizations, they some do pinch pennies, but they have a great vision. They know what they want to do, but the right people's going to have to get on board with them. You can't join all of them. I'd love to join all of them and give back, but Weymouth is dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Just the background, the history, of knowing that these people came into this community and they were leaders in the community.
They were. Yeah. Yeah. The Boyds and
Right.
what they did for our community. We need to keep telling people about that. 'Cause
Right.
I didn't know
Right.
anything about it until I started up at the Weymouth
Yeah.
Center.
Me neither. I had no clue.
The library, the Boyd Library, the Civic Center.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
the newspaper.
Right.
Yeah.
And just this week I was reading an article down in Hamlet. And there was a Boyd family there.
Really?
So I'm like, okay, I got to dig a little bit, and see if there was any relation to, James Boyd. So I'm gonna dig a little bit. But Weymouth is a great organization.
Yeah.
The team there is awesome.
Team is fun.
They're fun. They have good fun events. Right.
So how do you decide where to invest your time and energy with so many nonprofits?
So nonprofit organizations desire an active board or an active group.
That's true.
It takes activity.
It does.
It can't all fall on one person.
No.
So one of the things, the way that I decide is, for one, look how much team effort's is going to be put in it. Another one is how structured.
Okay.
If there's confusion amongst a board with a nonprofit organization, sometimes we have to agree to disagree.
Yes.
But we're gonna have to do what's right for that organization,
Right.
to fulfill their mission.
Yeah.
What is their goals? To fulfill the goals, to maximize the goals as presented.
Absolutely.
So I really have to make sure that it's a structured board. Currently I'm not on too many boards. But it's just got to be. It has to be structured.
Yes, that is important
to make sure that things are in place. Making sure that committees are created. To that it don't fall on one person or two people. I believe that everyone has their strengths.
That's right.
So you have to kind of get to know each one, building relationships.
Building the relationships.
You have to really know, what the strengths and the weaknesses of that board, that organization. And place them. Don't get rid of them. Place them in their places.
Right.
But it takes a strong leader to be able to do that.
And there's the structure too.
Right, that is the structure. That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe I just give money. Maybe that's my strength because I have a lot of money. Or maybe I don't have any money, but I am in there and I want to be at the events and the fundraisers and volunteering and
Right. Yeah.
So there's a place for all of it, isn't there?
Right.
What do you personally gain from volunteering that you don't really get from paid work?
Oh, friends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, friends. Just somebody that I could like cut up with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of organizations that I have volunteered with, and I've gained somebody from it. If it's a follow on Facebook, that's okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm seeing their life, they're seeing my life.
Uh-huh.
And we know each other.
Yeah.
Just having friends. Just being able to smile with others.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Right.
All right, so this is the quick fire round.
All right.
This is my favorite part. Quick answers, straight from the heart. Don't think about it too much. Boom. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. What do you notice first when you walk into a room?
The energy.
What makes you instantly trust someone?
The energy.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Right.
I really know.
Right.
A quiet moment in your career that changed you.
Oh, losing friends. Losing a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
What's something people often assume about you that isn't true?
Probably I talk too much.
That's not true, Jonathan. What?
I try hard. I will say that.
What kind of legacy matters more to you right now, professional or personal? Or do you think that they're just both intertwined?
Yeah. Yeah, they can be intertwined. I just want to be remembered as showing up for people.
Showing up for people.
Just saying, like if anyone needs anything, well, I'll call Jonathan, he'll get it.
Yeah.
Not monetary,
Yeah, right.
maybe a connection,
Right.
maybe anything,
Yeah.
maybe a good bottle of bourbon, I have connections, So like
He says connections, guys.
Right. So just be remembered as just someone who showed up for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great legacy.
Yeah.
So when you imagine Moore County 5 years from now, what do you hope people feel?
Proud.
Proud. Yeah.
I hope they feel proud. I hope
Yeah.
they feel connected. I hope that they feel just hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopeful for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moore
I like
County's
that.
it's going to change.
It's going to change.
Yeah, it's going to
But
change.
feeling hopeful, that's a good feeling.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So for every guest that comes, I write a little jingle, and here's yours.
From Main Street meetings to a raised glass toast, building community matters most. Where business meets heart and people feel seen. Jonathan Lewis on the Moore County scene.
That was cute. Thank you, Rose.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
So if someone wants to make that connection with you, they want to hire your Gentleman's Mobile Bar, or they want to come talk to you about membership in the chamber, how do they get in touch with you?
So with the Chamber of Commerce, you can send me an email at jlewis@moorecountychamber.com.
Okay.
And then with the Gentleman Mobile Bar, you can DM me, you can send me a message on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I also have a LinkedIn page. Look for me, Jonathan Lewis, on that page. You can text me. My contact information is on my website,
Okay.
thegentlemanmobilebar.com. But any way that I can be connected. I think I've built enough friends here that they can tell anyone how to get up with me.
Okay.
Or just Google my name,
Okay.
Jonathan Lewis, and I'm pretty sure the chamber will be the first the first link
The first thing that comes up.
Yeah.
Is there any last morsel of advice that you might have for the small business owner here in Moore County, or maybe someone who wants to jump into business?
Yes. One piece of advice that I would give is be encouraged. You don't have to settle less. You don't have to settle for less.
Yes.
You can achieve anything that you put your heart to, but I will encourage you to, set goals. Don't set your goals so high that, is not achievable within a certain time. You don't have to start out big. You don't have to start out with these crazy goals of where that has evolved from dreams.
Right.
So set your goals to where you can achieve them realistically.
Okay.
So I would give that advice, and then
Uh-huh.
don't let anything sway you away from fulfilling your dreams.
Right.
I see businesses that shut down within 2 years.
Yeah.
There is resources out here
Yeah.
to help, find you a circle of encouragers, find you a circle of
Yeah.
of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Family is great support,
Yeah.
love on your family, they'll love on you, develop a family that's going to
Yeah.
be your supporter.
Okay.
And run with it.
Don't be afraid.
Right, have fun, and the business side, all I can say with that one is just cheers.
Yeah.
Right, cheers. Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Jonathan.
absolutely.
I loved having you here
Thank
today.
you.
It's always fun to chat with you and
Right.
sit down. And we're always so busy when I see you. I don't really ever get to just sit down and chat with you.
Right,
So this
right.
was really nice.
Yes,
Thank you for coming.
absolutely.
So today I invite you to imagine this: a community where professionalism and kindness walk hand in hand. Imagine that every connection is made with intention, hospitality, and heart. And as always, keep imagining more.
Imagine more stories that soar, business, life, and so much more. Laughs, lessons, and local delight is the podcast that feels